Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a hard look at a huge assumption that is just sweeping through the corporate world right now. It's this idea that adopting AI is all about, just working faster. But listen, if you think the ultimate goal of AI in your food or consumer packaged goods business, your CPG business, is just to supercharge your speed, well, you might literally be accelerating right into a brick wall. Today, we're going to explore why control and not speed is the real secret to winning the AI race.
To kick things off, there's this perfect warning from McKinsey that frames our whole discussion. Productivity is not strategy. That is absolutely crucial to understand. Think about it. If literally every single company out there can write faster, analyze data faster, summarize reports, and automate workflows at the exact same speed, then speed is no longer a strategic advantage, right? It just becomes table stakes. It simply raises the floor of competition without raising the ceiling of your actual advantage.
So, that brings us to the fundamental question of this whole explainer. It's the question every executive needs to be asking right now. Are you merely copying the visible system of AI, or are you actually building the control layer underneath it? Let's visualize this crossroads the industry is at. It's a really stark contrast. On one hand, you have the visible system. It's chaotic, it's siloed, it's full of dashboards, pilot programs, fragmented processes, just a whole lot of disjointed activity. Basically, speed without control. Sure, you get faster, but it leads to the exact same outcomes with zero durable advantage. But then look at the alternative, the control layer. This approach is governed, structured, and built on a rock-solid foundation of science, domain knowledge, and integrated data. This right here is where AI actually creates a compounding, durable advantage for food and CPG systems. Section 1. Copying the visible system versus understanding it.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to borrow a metaphor from one of the most complex, dynamic, and heavily scrutinized operating systems on the planet, elite soccer. Think about Pep Guardiola. He is arguably the greatest coach of his generation, and his system at Manchester City is just beautiful to watch. So naturally, everybody tries to copy it. But the renowned coach Fabio Capello gave this brilliant warning. He said too many teams try to copy Guardiola's visible behaviors, the passing, the possession, the inverted fullbacks, without actually having his players, his context, or his operating logic. They copy the surface, but they completely miss the intelligence underneath. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what happens when companies copy AI dashboards and prompts without understanding their underlying business system.
It's the difference between imitating and translating. Mikel Arteta at Arsenal is a great example. He didn't succeed by just imitating a diet version of Guardiola's system. Instead, he translated those core principles into Arsenal's own unique identity, focusing on defensive solidity and a much tougher competitive personality. This lesson is a game changer for AI adoption. Imitating is just, copying prompt libraries, chatbots, and pilots, but a dashboard isn't an operating model. Translating, on the other hand, means understanding exactly where AI changes the economics of your specific system. Section 2. The hidden control layer. So if all that visible stuff isn't the secret sauce, what is? Well, any beautiful, visible system relies entirely on a hidden governing intelligence to actually function. Let's look at Claude Makelele to understand this. Back before modern systems really evolved, Real Madrid and Chelsea had the Makelele role. This was not a glamorous job. No highlight reels, no flashy goals. Makelele was the ultimate defensive stabilizer. He absorbed all the chaos, protected the central spaces, and stopped counterattacks early. By doing all that hidden work, he was basically the insurance policy that let the attacking superstars take huge risks without leaving the whole team completely exposed. But, systems evolve. Enter Rodri at Manchester City today. Rodri doesn't just defend like Makelele did. He's the modern operating governor. He dictates the tempo, he manages the progression, and he controls the transitions. He literally governs how the entire system breathes. When Rodri was injured, Man City still had all their elite attacking talent, but their system became incredibly fragile. Their games went from imposing order to just managing volatility. So the key takeaway here is this. Rodri is the mechanism that turns raw talent into total system control. Section 3. The Rodri effect in food systems. Okay, so what does an elite soccer midfielder have to do with the food and CPG industry? Honestly, absolutely everything. Let's map this evolution out. Think back to the 2000s in the food industry. We had our own Makelele role. This was the foundational food safety and quality layer. Its main job was just preventing a total system collapse. Fast forward to the 2020s and we have the Rodri layer. This is integrated governance where we connect risk, data, decision rights, and execution across the whole operating model.
And looking ahead to the AI era, this evolves into AI HACCP frameworks. We're taking traditional hazard analysis and critical control points and supercharging them with proprietary data for a compounding advantage. Every single high-performing food system needs this Rodri layer to give AI the freedom to operate without the whole enterprise just drifting off course.
Because here is the harsh reality we have to face. Without that governance layer, AI might boost your productivity, sure, but it will severely weaken your resilience. AI is perfectly happy to make your teams faster at doing the wrong work. It's going to give you a ton of analysis, but way less actual judgment. You'll get more options, but fewer accountable decisions. Adopting AI without governance is exactly like copying Pep Guardiola's tactics without having a Rodri on your team. It might look really busy and impressive, but underneath, it's incredibly fragile. Section 4. Governing your actual system. We really need to step away from the theory now and look at the messy reality of implementing this in a real corporate environment. Fabio Capello pointed out something fascinating. Coaching a club team where you can literally just buy the perfect player you need is totally different from coaching a national team where you just have to work with the players you're given. In business, we call this the national team problem. You can't govern the pristine, perfect system you wish you had. Actually, scratch that. You have to govern the messy, complicated system you actually have right now. And what do most organizations really look like under the hood? Fragmented data, unclear ownership, inconsistent procedures, and legacy systems held together purely by human memory. If you just drop AI into that kind of environment without discipline, it doesn't magically create intelligence. It just exposes your lack of operating discipline only way faster. Section 5. Building your strategic moat. So, how do we fix this? How do we actually build a durable advantage? Well, we need to separate the noise from the signal. Think about AI productivity, stuff like faster reporting, basic summarization, standard process automation. Like we said earlier, this is just table stakes. It's useful, for sure, but it is not going to make you win. True AI strategic advantage is where the magic happens. This is about using AI to completely reshape your offerings, redesigning your operating models from the ground up, and creating proprietary data advantages that no one else can touch. You want AI to actually change the economics of your competition and shift profit pools, not just act as an overpriced spell checker. So I want you to run a quick executive diagnostic right now. Ask yourself these questions about your own organization. What are we blindly copying from other companies without really understanding? Where is AI actually going to shift value in our specific business? Who or what is our Rodri layer, our stabilizing force? Where are our decision rights getting muddy? Who actually owns the risk if an AI recommends a new product formulation? And crucially, where could AI make us a lot faster, but significantly less safe? Because speed without constraint in a food system isn't progress, it's just pure exposure. We always have to remember that generating outputs is not the same thing as building intelligence. Dashboards are not intelligence, pilot programs are not intelligence. A truly intelligent system learns, it governs, it adapts, it knows exactly when to escalate a problem, and it actually improves the quality of your decisions, even under intense pressure. But getting there requires your proprietary data to be structured, perfectly governed, and hardwired to clear decision rights.
And that perfectly wraps up our journey today. It brings us to this one ultimate takeaway. Because in food, as in football, talent matters, but control wins. The companies that absolutely dominate the AI era aren't going to be the ones who just adopted the fastest. No way. They will be the ones who built the stabilizing architecture, the science, the governance, the decision rights that allowed them to harness all that immense power without flying off the tracks. So I'll leave you with this final critical question as you go audit your own organization today. Do you know what must be governed before it can be safely accelerated? Really think about that. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.